Welcome to the Wheel of Prog.
Prog. We're back,
All
baby.
right. Well, this is a momentous occasion. It's an exciting one. We're back with a brand new Wheel of Prog to cover none other than Steven Wilson's solo albums. This is a very big deal. Normally, we don't do them when there are so few albums. But we're working with 8 plus an EP. We got 9. I think we can get around it and make it still work. Joining me are Daniel, Geoff, and Nick. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hey, everyone.
So we are recording
Happy to be
this
here.
we're recording this on 90125 day, as it were.
No, we're not.
In America.
No, we're not.
In America, it's 90125 day, which is pretty cool. So anyway, what's to say? I mean, Steven Wilson, one of the biggest artists, certainly in prog, if not in rock, and came back a little bit with the overview this year, and we all really like that album. We'll see where that ranks later in the year, but we thought we would go ahead and try and rank this and see. I mean, I don't know that there's going to be a huge debate on this. We all generally like most of his albums. We just sort of disagree on a couple, and we'll see how that shakes out. But anyway, let's go ahead and bring up the wheel.
So what's the order, Roy? And how we're doing the ninth spin? How is that working?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. So ninth spin, I guess we'll leave it to the end. Or should we do it for a specific album? Maybe like when the EP comes up, we'll all decide where it goes. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
sounds
think
good.
that's fair. So let's, for the EP, whoever spins on it, we'll just see where it goes, and then that person
They get
will
another
to
spin.
They'll get to spin again. I
Cool,
think that'll
cool,
be
cool.
fair. And okay, so why don't to make it interesting? I think we should let
Let
Nick
me go last.
I think we should let
last.
Nick go last, because Nick, we don't know what he's
Yes.
going to do.
Absolutely.
We know what you and I will do. We don't know what
Good
Nick
man,
is going
Roy.
to do. So Geoff, why don't you go first, and then we'll go me, Daniel, Nick. Let's do that. Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's kick it off.
Let's do it. Spin the wheel.
Okay.
I also I want to point out that we got a very global host of characters here, as we are
Yeah,
four
everyone's
different
in a different
continents.
country.
Four
It's
continents.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right,
incredible.
starting off on a good one. Grace for Drowning.
4 different
Okay.
decades in ages, too.
Literally.
No.
All right, no kidding.
No.
Go
Speak
ahead.
for
No.
yourself.
No.
Kidding.
Okay. Grace for Drowning. I played this. I've listened through all the albums recently just to prepare for doing this, and I think it's probably even a bit more experimental than Insurgentes was. Obviously, the very first one that he made post Porcupine Tree, and I think that possibly gives him give him a little bit more liberty. Whereas the first album, I think it kind of had to be quite totally different. I think he was able to do a little bit more. What were the things that stood out to me? The title track, again, I'd either forgotten or didn't realize it's Jordan Rudess playing piano in that one. You've got Sectarian, which is it's a crazy instrumental, not necessarily technical in terms of things, but so many sounds, so many shifts. Deform a Star,
Beautiful.
very, very prog, beautiful mellotron, beautiful harmonies. Again, a thing I'd forgotten, Remained of the Black Dog, Steve Hackett plays in it. I'd kind of forgotten about the sort of special guests who were on it. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, that sounds really like Hackett. Index, really, a funny track about that kind of nerdy person that most of us are. And then you've got Raider 2,
Masterpiece.
23 minutes of acid jazz, prog, everything. And I suppose, this would be said a lot tonight. Whilst it's a great album, it is not particularly one of my favorites. And so for me, I have put this in D tier.
What?
Get out of town.
D?
D tier? Wait,
Like
we didn't
bottom
discuss
tier?
this. Sorry.
D.
Sorry, let's do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
We're putting 1 in S to make it interesting,
Yeah.
and then 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm floored by this.
No, me too,
D
dude.
tier?
I honestly want to re-roll.
Oh my god.
but-
Well,
I'm
I had
saying
it in
in
C. I got to tell you, I had it in C.
Dude,
For
this
me,
is
it's
the
a firm
easy-
A.
Easy A for me, like bronze medal.
Yeah,
like,
it's a
there's
firm A. I
gap
mean,
between
there's-
that and
The reason why it's not in, I know we're only doing 1 in S, but even if there was 2 in S, it's not an S tier based on that for me. It's still an A, just because it's a little long, and some of it drags at points. But the good stuff is some of his best, and I love, like, Postcards is maybe one of my favorite songs by him. Like dust I clear from my eyes. I love the ballads on this album so much. They're so good, and in many ways, while I like that he did the overview, and which I really like a lot as sort of the big proggy stuff, I would love for him to do an album of only Deform, The Form a Star, Postcard, like that stuff. I love that stuff. He does that better than anybody, with the harmonies and the melodies, and it's so emotional. That stuff kills me. I love it. So that's what makes it an A for me. I'm D. Okay. Well, plenty of time to move it up, I
Yeah.
think.
I had it in C because of exactly what you said, Roy. It's a long, sometimes hard listen, and it could have done with a bit of editing, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair.
So for you guys, that's top 3 album then
yeah,
of his catalog.
yeah.
It's the top 3 album for you, Roy.
It would probably be probably the third. Yeah.
Okay,
Between the for
interesting.
obvious 2.
Yeah. I thought it was
Yeah.
really like the way you were describing Geoff and going like song by song. I think this so well. I was like,
I thought
and
you'd
then
put
I
it
don't
in
like
B.
it.
I thought
it was gonna
know.
be in B. Yeah. I
Yeah,
was like,
that's what it
okay.
sounded like.
Yeah, but in
Yeah.
this show, we have to learn how to respect each other's opinions.
That's why whenever
No,
a lot of
when?
times just
When?
to give
When?
people some insight.
No one's
To give
ever
people some
respected my
insight when
opinions,
we're-
ever read the
Well,
comments.
When we're
They're
planning,
there already, and we were only recording it.
I know. When we're planning to do these things, we're deciding on a band. A lot of times there's discussions in our little text group where it's like, well, isn't this kind of obvious? We all like the same stuff. And it never turns out that. It never
Yeah.
turns out. It doesn't matter who it is.
Well,
So,
this is one of the few times that right from the start, it's already going a different way than I imagined. So let's see how it
Lovely.
ends. You know.
It's great. It's great. All right, perfect. All right, I guess I'll go next. Well, that's boring.
It is more. I agree.
Well, Hand Cannot Erase. I mean, we just covered it on we do our yearly Progress thing during the month of August. And this year, for anybody that didn't watch, it's a good time to refresh. We did a history of Prague through 31 songs, started in the late 60s with Moody Blues, and then the last album on it, the number 31. This was in chronological order. It wasn't in any ranking or anything. The last one, number 31, was Ancestral from Hand Cannot Erase from 2015. Interestingly, that we stopped at 2015, which was a total accident when picking the songs. It just sort of ran through that course, but it did, as an aside, cause me to realize that in the last 10 years, there's been amazing albums, but nothing from anyone really new that cracked that top 31. You know, like all the great albums are from bands that we've liked since then. It's still been Haken, Opeth, Dream Theater. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting who will be the next ones. But in any case,
I have an argument, but let's
no,
move
I
on.
know. Fair. I know you do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I went into that thing, but anyway, number 31. My point was that it got a lot of praise from picking that song as one of his greatest songs and one of the greatest guitar solos from Guthrie Govan. And certainly, this album is a masterpiece in every way. Everything on it's great. Home Invasion is just what a song! Just tremendous. 3 Years Older is one of my favorite things he's ever done. Routine is as heartbreaking a song as you'll ever hear. I mean, it's
Oh
just
yeah.
awesome from beginning to end.
Home
That
Invasion.
said, that said, it is not going to be my single S tier. I am
What?
putting it in A.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, dude. And
I know
that's
I'm
what.
putting it in
Ooh.
A.
yeah.
There's not enough flutes on it for it to be in Roy's S tier. He kind
I'm
of, which is obviously why Grace for Drowning is held in such high
right. Well,
regard.
Theo
The
Travis,
amount of flutes
who
on it.
who I did get to see when I saw the Overview tour back in May. They played 2 songs from Grace for Drowning, and Theo Travis was there and played along, which was really nice.
Yeah, so
But
Roy's here. Get the flutes out.
let's bring him out. No,
Oh
listen.
no.
If there were 2 S tiers, this would definitely be one of
Easy,
them.
yeah. I'm
I
with
love
you,
one
dude.
album slightly
We got
more
the
than this
same
one.
top three, and I
I'm
must say
glad.
an extra compliment on this album. I think, as far as concept albums go, this is such a beautiful story. You know, tragic but so beautiful. And the special edition, I assume you guys own it as well, with the letters and the artwork and the certificate of birth and death. I don't remember which one, but like
Yeah,
it's just such
Yeah.
a masterfully done piece.
the
And
cassette inlay card.
yeah, like it's so it blew my mind when I got it, and going reading it while listening to the album just elevates the experience in such a way that like I think he tried to do that with some other albums. He did something similar with Future Bites, and I assume Harmony Codex as well, but I don't have those versions, and I
Not so
don't
much.
know if those concepts are as strong as this one to like get to the same level, you know?
I think
Yeah.
what's interesting about it is it's a concept album, but it's not a narrative concept album.
Hmm.
So
Right.
it doesn't it doesn't tell a story start and it, when you know what the story is, the songs make a lot of sense, and I suppose it does kind of end. I suppose Happy Returns probably sums it
That's
up,
a
but
gut wrenching song. It's gorgeous, but it's so sad. Like it's
Yeah.
but
great.
Yeah.
I think the things on this, and I've been the 2 times that I've seen Stephen Wilson, I've been fortunate that he's played Home Invasion and Regret Number 9. When that distorted electric piano comes in, oh man,
So good.
that's just chills moment. And
So, Jeff, is
yeah,
that your S tier?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's okay because Nick'll push it up later,
I'll
and
push
we'll
it
ask
up.
go.
Guys, if there was a triple S tier for me, this album would be in it, and it's not because everybody goes on about it and it's aged well since 2015 and what have you. This is truly a masterpiece. If anybody wrote and produced this album, including Steven Wilson, it would be triple S tier for me. It's perfection from beginning to end, and I think what you said, Jeff, is spot on. It's not a story told in a linear way. It's the emotions around the various incidents in that story. And really, this when I first listened to this album, I was honestly in tears. I had the whole interactive multimedia immersive thing, and the thing put me into tears for a good day. Emotional,
Yeah.
fantastic,
Yeah,
unbelievably precise and wonderful album. Perfection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he said.
No, I hate not including it in Escovite, but we decided to only have one, and I gotta
And that's why
go
we
with
only
it.
have one, so we can make it
Yeah.
interesting.
All right. Dan.
Let's go. Give me Future Bites.
Okay. This
All
is
right.
interesting.
It is
All
interesting.
right.
Um,
Insurgentes.
Insurgentes.
Is it? Do
I
you say the
like this
G? Is
album.
I don't know. Whatever.
It's a hard G. It's Latin. It's
Yeah.
Insurgentes. Yeah.
I thought it was Spanish. It's Insurgentes.
That's what I
Well,
always said.
Oh,
I don't know.
either
I'm
way,
just thought it was
this song, this album is. I was thinking about what you said, Jeff, about Grace for Drowning being more experimental than this album, and I think that makes sense. He played it safe in some songs like Harmony Corinne, but I think in that same effect, some of the songs lack a little bit of identity. I don't know if you guys agree with this. I really like this album. I think it has some interesting parts, like No Twilight is a great song, Get All You Deserve is a great song, Twilight Coda is beautiful. The title track it's good. I like it. Abandoner is one that I really, really like. But as well as Veneno. Great songs on this album. That said, gonna do the same thing that Jeff was saying. This is on my D tier, especially with Grace for Drowning down there, needing to move up. I have to strategically place it down there so we can start bringing it up a little bit.
Yeah,
And
same for me.
yeah, so I
The same
think
for me.
Roy, same for you too. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I assume Roy and I have the same the same
It's looking that
tier
way.
list
I mean,
probably. Yeah.
this album from when it first came out just never really hit me, and I wasn't at the time. He was still in Porcupine Tree, and I was sort of still looking at that band, and a lot of times solo projects from artists. It doesn't mean I'm gonna love it, and this was sort of like that. That album came out, and was like, okay, it's all right. I
Yeah,
still feel like that way. It's okay. Harmony is maybe the best song on it. He still plays it live. It sounds like a leftover song from the incident or something.
totally.
Um,
And
but
I
that's about it.
mean, I listened to this album after hearing Grace for Drowning, which totally blew my mind, you know. And he had this thing of like Grace for Drowning, of like, and then Raven, all the albums just blew my mind in different ways, until later. But um, I think this album, like especially not being the first one that I listened, kind of damages how I see it, you know.
Yeah. No, I think. Well, Nick, where would you put it?
Yeah, I had it in B or C. Um, look, everything Wilson does is fantastic, but I think it's true to say that it was pretty experimental. I mean, it was recorded in studios all over the place, and when you look at the lineup, it was his first time using Gavin Harrison outside Porcupine Tree. Um, Tony Levin's on bass. Jordan Rudess makes a couple of appearances. So I mean, the performances are great. I just think it meanders a little bit and perhaps lacks a little bit of direction. So yeah, I had it as a B or a C in the middle somewhere.
It felt to me what he was trying to do was, having been in the proggy world, even prog metal with, the Porcupine Tree were going towards their metal phase. This was kind of him drawing on things like Joy Division, The Cure, that kind of indie, a bit of hip hop. He was bringing in a lot of kind of different influences. So it's a very, very different, for me, it's a very, very different sounding album to a lot of the other ones. But then you put in Gavin Harrison, who's incredibly distinctive, or Tony Levin, who's incredibly distinctive. Uh, to me, at the time, I again, it's never really been an album that's really stuck with me, apart from Harmony Codex, which is just brilliant. And that Get All You Deserve is one that I really love. The really slow build up to it, and then how it just turns into noise at the end, and that's one that kind of stood out for me. But I had it in D tier as well.
All right. Yep. Okay. Cool. Nick. Let's see.
There you
Okay.
go.
Well, I got this one.
I got it.
It's D tier day.
All right. Future bites.
Okay, the future bites. Now, look, I don't want to sound predictable, and it's not because it's Steven Wilson and everybody hates this album, and it was such a disappointment to Steven Wilson prog fans. Um, but if you take all that out of the picture and just listen to the music and give it a chance, ignoring who it is, it still is terrible. It's just a yuck album.
Oh, no
Um,
way, dude. Not terrible.
I, I,
No, it is.
dude, it's doubly bad because it's Steven. Um, and even within that context of him openly attempting to create Steven Wilson, the pop icon, even accepting that, it just doesn't work. The songs, in my opinion, are just amongst his weakest. We all know it was his COVID album, and the release was put back and all that, which I think added to the anticipation. And then when it finally came out, it just dropped so far as a disappointment. Um, I think the production's great. It's Steven Wilson, what have you, but it's the songwriting that I struggle with. And I'm a pop guy. I like good pop music. I love good pop music. Um, Look, Elton John makes an appearance. That's worth noting, I suppose. I mean, who can get Elton John to appear on their album? Only Steven Wilson, I suppose. But even that song, in the edited version or the extended version, which is on the bonus disc, is just bleak pop, poor pop, in my opinion. So I just didn't get it. I still don't get it. I think the concept, though, is a very clever one. There's this designer brand that comes to the fore in the future, and it becomes one of the biggest brands in the world. And the whole concept of the packaging that he gave and the
It's
marketing that went with
minimalist,
it
yeah.
is very very clever. All very clever stuff. But to me, it comes down to songs that were perhaps written by a guy who was trying too hard to be something that he's not. So it was a big disappointment for me. I think it's absolutely a D tier album. And I would take Insurgentes
Nah,
out
dude.
of D tier and
Come
put
on,
it
man. You got to
with
take
C.
Grace for
Oh my
Drowning. You
God,
got to bring
Nick.
Grace for
No,
Drowning up. What are you doing?
You think Insurgentes is
You
better than
think
Grace?
let's make it controversial for now, boys.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Let's do that.
Yeah, Roy, I'm
This
feeling
is
like
the
we're in a
most this is the
2v2
most
and they're getting all the
this is the
advantage
most
points, bro.
awful this is the most awful ranking ever. Oh my god.
I'll say one
Anyway,
positive thing about Future Bites though. I think 12 Things I Forgot is a brilliant, amazing song. Like Roy was
Yeah, it's the best
complimenting
moment.
his ballads. I think that song is amazing. King Ghost is different, but it has one of the best melodies on the album, which is not a lot of competition there. I'll give you that. But I really like his production style in that. It's really refreshing to see that kind of instrumentation applied to his classic prog melodies, stuff that you would hear in the Porcupine Tree albums. I'm specifically talking about the that melody at the end there with the synths and all
yeah.
that. I think it's really like a sound that really stands out, and I really like that song. And there are cool moments in Eminently East, and I feel the follower. I'm not a fan of the rest. Half of the album I can tolerate, the other half not so much. I agree it's a D tier, definitely not on the same tier as Grace for Drowning.
I
So
want to
yeah,
let Geoff have his moment to defend the album, but I'll just piggyback on that. I mean, I like 12 Things I Forgot. I've said this before. A lot of times I'll put on the album. I'll start at that song just to hear it, and then let it play, and then I realize I just dislike each subsequent song more and more as it goes. And Personal Shopper is in competition with Permeating. Those are his two worst songs ever,
I love
and
Permeating.
both
I love
dreadful
Terminating.
songs. Terrible song.
Permeating's
Um,
pop Steven Wilson done right, but we'll get
it's
to
terrible.
that.
It's the worst. But the other song I like on it didn't end up being on the proper album, which is Anyone But You, I think it's called, which I
Me.
really like a lot. Anyone
Anyone
But
but
Me,
me.
I really like that.
Eyewitness as
That's not
well.
on the proper album. So yeah, I just don't get this album at all. That's it.
So here's my question: where do you think I've placed it?
B.
Beat B.
B
A.
or A.
Nope.
C.
Nope.
C?
hmm
Really?
That makes sense. I know
Yeah,
you
but
like it more than
again,
most,
I
but
think
yeah.
I mean, relatively speaking. So there's a couple of things I'll say about it. I was trying to figure out the dates. I can't remember, but we did. The album was set to be released and then it got delayed. But I think we got. You can edit this out if we're not allowed to say it, but we got the promos before the release date got changed.
Yeah.
So we got to hear it, and then it got delayed. So we kind of had it to live with for a while, and it was during lockdown, and it just became a thing when I would go out for a walk that I would listen to it, and so I associate it with a particular period of time, and sonically, I just think it's really interesting. Um, there's some of the songs that I don't think are so great, but you put them on the 5.1 mix. It's really interesting to listen to what all's going on. I do like Personal Shopper. I just think it's a fun kind of silly, not silly track, but it's making a point in a particular way. I just think the Elton John thing is just the most hilariously iconic or ironic sort of, here, monogrammed cufflinks, all of those things. Like what Elton John has agreed to guest on your album, what are you going to get him to
Well,
do?
think about
Read
that.
out-
It's like the
read
balls
out
on
a
him
list
to
of
do
things.
that. You get Elton John to do that.
Yeah.
Imagine Dan, you're working on a record on the side for people
Yeah.
that don't know, just some music you're recording, and you get, I don't know, John Petrucci to be on your record, but he's not playing anything. He's
You play
he's just talking. He's just gonna just
narrating, yeah.
He plays a mouth.
He's just reading.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
So look, it is not, it's not even in the top half of my favorite Steven Wilson albums. I will defend it from definitely not, being as terrible as most people think it is. I think it's just an interesting album to listen to, and when you put it in the context of everything that he's done, I think there's some really strong songs. The other thing from this era as well, and again, I know we don't take into consideration, but there's a lot of songs that he recorded in that time. The cover of and Floral Green.
That's really good. Yeah.
Roy's mentioned.
So when the best moment on the album was a song he didn't write. My point.
Anyone but me. Well, it wasn't on the album.
John Mitchell wrote.
Yes, I see. It wasn't on the album.
Jeff,
I think.
Do you think this album has, like, speaking of specifically songs, do you think The Future Bites has higher highs than Grace for Drowning?
I don't know that. I don't know.
I'm asking this because
you
you ranked it higher, so I'm just wondering.
No, I know I ranked it higher, but I think for me the album is something that I have a particular connection with because I listened to it a lot at the time. Grace for Drowning, I didn't really listen to it that much when it came out. It didn't kind of hit me at that point. So, yeah, I could, if you asked me to write down the names of all the tracks in Grace for Drowning, I don't think I could do it. Whereas with Future
it's
Bites,
really long. Yeah.
I would know them all, and I think that's the other thing. It's 41 minutes. If you hate it, it's over. It's over quickly.
It's 5 minutes for me.
It feels like 2 hours. No, anyway.
All right, let's move
I
on.
don't
We've spent so much time on an album none of us particularly like.
I do like. No, sorry, I
Moving
do like
on.
it. I just say, even though we rank it similarly, I do like it.
Fair enough.
I enjoy
All right,
it.
let's move on. Okay, that was only one round. Okay, let's see.
Oh my God, the longest
Crazy,
Wheel of Prog
man.
ever. We're making your money's
Ever.
worth.
Is it
nothing.
back to me?
Yeah, back to Jeff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is interesting. The
I was nearly
overview.
gonna ask-
The
I was nearly going to ask the same question as to where do you think I put this?
Well,
I don't know anymore.
I was gonna say you put it in A.
So, look, it doesn't go unknown that I'm a big fan of the Harmony Codex, and this was the one that came after it. I think a lot of people, felt it was much more prog, and they welcomed it a lot more. I mean, it's a brilliant album, and again, I've said this before. Many people have said it. If I wanted to give someone an album and saying this is a whole sampling of all the things that Steven Wilson kind of done and is really good at, it's the perfect album out of this entire list for that. That said, I think it doesn't, for me, it doesn't quite achieve the heights that some of the albums do achieve. So for me, it's a it's a B tier.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's the
you
first
know,
decent ranking we've had, really.
so and look, seeing it live, brilliantly performed. Listening to it from start to finish, again, it's a 40-minute. You know, it's a really, really good album.
Um, yeah, I like it a lot. I think what I'll say about it is that it's the type of album that a lot of artists, after a certain while, and if you count Porcupine Tree, he's been making music now for a really, really long time, right? And so, what I want from it's not groundbreaking. He didn't try and create anything new with this record. The last few records, he was trying something new. To the Bone, he was trying to do like a pop thing. Future Bites, the electronic thing. Harmony Codex is like a sonic thing. He's going trying different things. This one he went, let me make a Steven Wilson greatest hits sort of. Let me just do what I do, and I think that's what he accomplished here, which I was cool with. I kind of wanted that. I wanted a record I just would enjoy listening to without having to work at wanting to like it. And is it the greatest thing or is it groundbreaking? No, but it's really, really good. I like it. I like the whole thing. There's a couple minutes of the electronic Harmony Codex stuff that I could do without. I think it's a little long, but it's fine. Um,
I think the
but
album
that's it.
is fine. I like it, but I think, and that's an interesting aspect, like, and maybe I'll get a chance to say this in the rankings, but both To the Bone and Harmony Codex are more interesting albums to me. I'm not saying they're better, but they're more interesting. And I think that's one of his strengths. He's trying to surprise you all the way. That said, like Harmony Codex is, oh, sorry, the overview is a strong album. Like probably C for me, honestly, but I enjoy it too.
No,
You have to see
I think I
how I'm
think
going to
Jeff's
listen
got it
to it.
right there.
You know.
I, I mean, it's definitely a B or a C tier. I think Jeff's got it
Yeah,
right.
that range.
There was a lot of hype about Stephen going back to prog. He's doubling down on his sort of prog icon status and being the prog father kind of thing, and um, that created a lot of opposite expectations. And honestly, when I heard it the first couple of times, I was just that little bit disappointed because it was Stephen going back to prog after the electronica stuff of the previous two albums. And it took me a while to get into it. It took a few listens. It was a bit of a grower. But yeah, it belongs in the middle. It's not his best. It's not his worst. It's a statement that listen, nobody does prog like him, and that's good. And he's back, but not exceptional.
I think he needed to take a step back into the quote unquote prog style a little bit because I think the audience was teetering. You had those people that were like, "Okay, we've let you fuck around a little while. We're not one more,
No
and
more.
it. I don't know, like you know what I
Yeah.
mean.
I'm fairly sure that that's not how he would describe it.
I'm, I'm sure. I'm sure in his mind it was organic, but whatever.
He's
Yeah.
probably
Um,
he's switched off by now, I think.
Yeah,
uh,
I'm one of the people that think
Trust me, he isn't watching.
the transition from Harmony Codex to the overview made a lot of sense. I think not only strategically but like sonically, if you really listen to the Harmony Codex paying attention, it's not as electronic or that kind of thing. I think it's
Yeah, it
closer to the
is.
overview than it is to the future bites. That's my
We
point.
will always disagree on that part.
Yeah.
They're bits from it, but only in the same way that there's bits from Raven in it. There's bits from Hand Candy Race. That's what
Yeah.
the overview is. It's not. That's how I sort of see it. So are there some electronic bits? Fine. Harmony Codex is void of a lot of guitars and a lot of real drums and a lot of what he did before. He just is. But let's save it for
Yeah.
when we get to that album.
Yeah, and we've
Okay.
had this argument a lot in the group, so we
Please,
don't
please,
need it
please, please,
again.
please, please, please,
People don't
please,
need
please,
it.
Harmony Codex, please, 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 please.
Who's
It's Roy, and he's
Oh, I
getting.
get another.
Oh,
Well, I get another
yeah.
spin. So 4.5 is the
Let's
EP
let's all
that
say
came
where we
out.
put it.
after Hand Cannot Erase. Um, it's a solid few good new songs. Vermilion Core's on it, which he plays. It's the song he's probably played live the most of all his songs for some reason. Um, what's it called? My Book of Regrets is awesome.
Yeah,
Love that one.
Happiness 3 as
Happiness
well.
3
That's
is
amazing.
great.
Yeah.
Really cool new version of Don't Hate Me with Nanette singing on it. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's a solid app. It's almost an album. Man, you put one or two more songs on it, it's a full-fledged record.
I think it's
It's
So
as
only
long
it's
as Future
it's only
Bites.
like it's only 4 minutes shorter than the Future Bites.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
basically an album, which is why it's worth including. I
What
like
what
it a
it
lot
is.
actually.
Well,
So
well,
we were gonna, as a group, place this somewhere. Can we?
can we
Can we
agree
all?
on
Can we
something?
place it in D and bump up Grace for Drowning? Are we all okay with this?
No.
Possibly.
No,
C tier.
This
it's
is better
it's
than
a
Grace
C or
for
a D.
Drowning. What is wrong with you?
It is. It is. It's
It's
better.
Roy,
not.
Roy, let's put it in C. But if either you or me get Harmony Codex, we'll have some justice. Like I would
Dude,
still put it in D, even though I really really love this EP. I think it's super strong. Um, I don't know. I don't
All
know.
right.
We're winning this argument.
come on, guys.
Well, it's
This
two
is this,
against
Well,
two,
this is a
so
Well,
this is a
either you
good
or him
standard.
are gonna get it, so
Yeah.
because we're in
Listen,
our last round.
Well, maybe we have the argument
anything.
that Roy got the album, so he has an extra point. Just saying.
Look, anything that came after Hand Cannot Erase, even outtakes from the Hand Cannot Erase sessions, was gonna be doomed to failure because that Hand Cannot Erase was a masterpiece. Anything else was
I
going to
don't
be
think we can call this a
it was
failure.
going to be,
Like,
but this was surprisingly good. I remember listening to it and thinking, wow, this is really almost as good. So yeah,
all right.
it
Well,
it is
sounds
all
better
right.
like
than
So
it.
Grace for Drowning.
I'm gonna
It's
let this go in C under protest, but I cannot. One of these
But
next albums. Let's see what happens.
Okay, who's up?
All right. Well, I go again
man, yeah.
Oh, you go again, right?
because we did that as a group, sort of. Um,
I don't want Nick to get any of these albums.
Ah,
You got the king.
well, at least we can get something proper.
Okay.
It's up to you, Dan. Yeah, well,
Well,
this
Roy.
is why I had Hand Cannot Erase in A. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. I think it's a flat out masterpiece. Every song on it's great. Watchmaker is, I mean, every time I hear it, I can't believe anyone wrote something so awesome. And then The Raven comes on after, and I think that song's even better. I mean, it's just, I love this album to death. When it came out, I mean, this album is the reason why I started the Prog Report. That's how important this album is. This album is the reason. Because I was so, at the time, I was sort of over, like, Prog hadn't done anything really that blew my mind in a long time. I mean, I was always still listening to stuff, but I just wasn't like blown away by anything in a few years. And as you guys have gotten to know me, I'm constantly sharing music. You got to check this. I'll send you. That's how my personality has always been. This before the website, I was sending emails and texts to friends. That's what I would always do. And this was the first album where I was like, oh my god, people need to hear this record. Like, I was sending it to all my friends, and I started. I'm going to start a website. I'm going to write a review about it. That's how important this album is to me. I just love it, and I was so bummed because I had bought tickets to see. I was going to be in London. I was going to see the Overview show, but all the shows prior to it, he had not played anything from this album. And then, of course, at the show that I saw, he added The Raven and closed with it, which just was the greatest thing ever. So I love that song. That's my favorite song of his, bar none.
Yeah.
It's
The Raven.
it's amazing. So I just love this album, and to me, it's
This album was a
absolutely his best thing.
masterpiece. And like, it's funny that at the time we didn't know each other, but Steven played on that tour in 2013 in London, and me, Geoff, and Nick were all there in that show.
That's amazing. How cool is that?
Yeah.
I wasn't.
No.
Royal
Oh no,
Festival
so
Hall, right?
just Nick and I. I'm thinking of
Hmm.
of Neo more than maybe Jeff, but I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
That's right.
Nick and I were in that show.
Was that
Yeah.
the same trip you saw
Then
that on?
Same trip,
now
yeah.
that's an interesting story for me because this album is one of the few instances of seeing it performed live having the opposite effect to what it normally does. Usually, when I see an album performed live, I like it more. Now, I hadn't listened to Raven for various reasons before booking the show, but I went to London. I went to the Royal Festival Hall, and I was booked to see the show with a friend of mine. And I thought, oh, it's Stephen Wilson. It's going to be great, and I'm going to love it. But that show really put me off this album because Stephen did a crazy sort of 5.1 surround mix
Yeah, that was
attempt
the
at the live show. And we were sitting 5 rows in front of the rear speakers. And all that was coming through those rear speakers was backing vocals, largely pre recorded
really
backing
Oh,
loud,
that's
vocals.
so
really
weird.
loud.
And it
Yeah.
destroyed the show for me. It absolutely destroyed it. And I walked out of that show hating this album before I had even
Ah,
heard it. Then it took me a long time to get back into it. And then of course, I realized its brilliance. But yeah, that's
Dude,
quite
well,
there.
same experience
we
in that
didn't.
regard. And like my dad still talks about it. Like that show was awful. That vocals out there
Yeah,
like destroyed the show. I was so fixed
yeah.
on the band that it didn't distract me as much. But I got to
Well,
watch it
can you mention the
again.
band because I didn't. I mean, we didn't talk about the band on this, which is another thing. It's the greatest band ever assembled
Yeah, and
for. It's
like
like
a
Oh,
few
it's like the
months
Andrew
later,
Avengers.
Govan,
yeah,
Nick
and
Beggs,
Marco
Adam Holtzman,
Miniman.
Marco Miniman.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
amazing. And a few months later,
Yeah.
I got to watch it in the US, in New York, and it was still one of my favorite shows ever. I was like third row or something, close to the band. Just seeing these songs live with the curtain in the front doing
Curtain thing.
the watchmaker, it was just mind blowing. Like the whole thing is amazing. It blew
We
my
didn't
mind in a
mention
way that
Luminol, Drive Home. I mean, every song on it is.
yeah, everything
Forget
is
about it.
it's the perfect album in many ways, and I agree it should be S tier. I know we are two against two on this,
I
but
love Hand Cannot Erase. I mean, they're neck and neck, but just
yeah,
the Raven is just that extra for me.
I think for me there's a couple of things that differential. A couple of things I'll say. To me, I find it quite funny that that there's at least two of you who completely dislike just about everything to do with King Crimson. Yet this is his album that to me sounds most like King Crimson. To me, there's a very crimson edge to a lot of the
well,
music.
I like Crimson,
Um,
so yeah,
well, I know Roy
I
doesn't, so
yeah.
I
I love Crimson.
I don't hit King Crimson never. I'll let you talk, but I mean they never wrote something. Well, I guess Starless maybe, but Drive Home and that's not them. I mean Luminol, I guess, but anyway,
yeah, well,
go
most
ahead.
of the tracks, but yeah, but I think for me the thing about, I mean, the reason why and I have it in A tier, right? So I'm not. This isn't Geoff hates the Raven.
Yeah,
There are two songs right in the middle that I have never really connected with, which is Holy Drinker and Pin Drop. I think the Luminol and Drive Home, incredible. Drive Home, incredible guitar solo,
Oh my
just
God, yeah.
amazing. The Watchmaker, fantastic. And the Raven, an amazing song. But for me, I just don't. Holy Drinker and Pin Drop are just are lesser songs in it, whereas I don't think Hand Cannot Erase is. I think it's just much more consistent for me. So
Mhm.
that's why I would have it below.
Yeah, I think Holy Drinker has such a cool rhythm section and the dirty piano thing that he does as well. That's kind of reminiscent of Grace for Drowning and stuff that also appears further in some of those albums. I love that song. It's always been a very fun one for me. But I agree that even though I think it's a perfect album, the Pin Drop is a song that I think it's a little weaker than the rest. You know?
Oh, I love Pin Drop. Yeah, my least
Yeah.
favorite. I mean, if I had my least favorite would be Holy Drinker, but I still really like it. I love Pin Drop, but again,
Mhm.
Pin Drop is that style of song that he does, postcard, deform, like those things. I love those things. So to have
Mhm.
those in there, it just works. Anyway, all right. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it moves from S. I don't think there's anything to be done. I win.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
nothing to be
So,
done at this
so
point.
let's just understand before we spin: are we bumping or are we not bumping?
We are
Dan.
bumping. Yeah.
Absolutely.
What are you gonna
Well,
do?
Why, Roy? Is it me?
No,
no,
it's
it's
Dan.
me.
It's
Harmony
Dan.
Codex.
Well, as I was saying, I really like this album. So being in D tier where it's gonna land, it's by no means, you know, I'm not saying it sucks. So hear me out.
It would be D
Staircase,
for me. So
yeah, no, no. In my actual tier list, it's a B tier. Okay,
wow.
it's a B tier. Yeah,
There's a space for it.
yeah. There's a space for it right there. I'm aware of that. But like, I don't mind it being D if
But no,
Grace for Drowning is a little bit higher. You know, that's just how it is
but
for
now
me.
4.5 goes to
Yeah,
B. It's
I
weird.
know, it's weird. And I mean, this list is all sorts of messed up.
But
I don't
but
know what to say.
but more mistakes don't fix other mistakes. That's the thing. They don't.
Well,
It's
that's
not.
why I
It,
hated
You
getting
no
guys
this
had a
matter.
because
chance. You
But
had a
no matter.
chance to put Grace
But
for
no matter.
Drowning in C. You had a chance.
But what? But yeah. You know, it
Wait,
it doesn't bring your D to an A.
well,
are
regardless
you?
of rankings, I'm gonna say something about this album.
Oh, wait.
Impossible
Am I putting it in
Tightrope.
D? Am I putting it in D?
Wait. Let's talk a
Okay.
little bit first.
All right.
Uh, Impossible Tightrope, as someone that's a big fan of fusion jazz and instrumental music and stuff that goes nowhere, as some guys in our group say, um, I really love that song. I think it does everything right, and the video they put for it is brilliant as well. Crystal Dynamics, they always get it right. What Life Brings is amazing. I really like Inclination. I really like Beautiful Scarecrow. Uh, Actual Brutal Facts. Staircase is brilliant. Uh, some of these songs I don't really love. Economies of Scale is particularly a song that I really don't like. And the Harmony Codex also does nothing for me. It's a song about like I don't know. I like the production of it, but it does nothing for me. Um, so like overall, it is a B or C tier for me. It's hard for me to put it in D, but it's even harder for me to see Grace for Drowning so low. It's weird, man. I don't know how we're doing what we're doing, but I guess I'll put it in D and then up Grace and then up 4.5. That's I guess we're doing that.
As per the rule, when we do that, only one bump up. I'll
Yeah.
say, for me,
But
it would
sorry,
be.
can I just say one thing before you say that? Do you see what you're leaving? You're leaving To the Bone in A tier.
No, I can leave it in B and someone if someone likes
Well, okay.
if Nick likes overview better than it, he can make a move. But like I prefer I
You've ruined it.
prefer
You've ruined it.
the whole thing. Well, you ruined it, dude. You started ruining it.
The whole
I'm
thing is
sorry.
just the most insane. It's the
Yeah.
most dreadful ranking.
Yeah, it's not
Um,
representative of any of our ranks. I'm sure of that. But
I
like
would
I love To the Bone. I'm not I
honestly.
have no issue having this in A tier. Really. I
I'm
don't.
okay. So, uh, for me, I'll just say this real quick because I don't have too much to say about this album. I get what
Yeah,
he was
you
trying
do.
to do. I get what he was trying to do. Production wise, sonically, it's magnificent. It really is great sounding. There's so much going on. The songs, to me, it's more about the production and how can I play in the studio than actually writing a song. There's no songs. Even What Life Brings doesn't actually have a chorus. It's a nice song. It's good, I guess. None of the songs have a chorus. None. They start. He starts singing for a little while, and then they end. There's no verse chord. There's no structure to any of the
No
songs,
structure.
and eventually it just I can't connect to it. I just can't. I there's nothing there. If I was combining the interesting thing about it, it's a more interesting listen to me than the Future Bites. If I had to do that, if I took all of the songs of both records, right? I'm combining them both, and I had to rank them. 12 Things I Forgot is my favorite song out of both records. Then the entire Harmony Codex, and then the rest of the Future Bites. That's sort of how it works, how I look at those records. And if I had to listen to it, I can listen to the Harmony Codex. I can listen to a few of the songs. Like, What Life Brings is okay. Time is Running Out is okay. Staircase had such potential to be a great song. Like, it starts good, the drums kick in, it's going, and then nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. I just
Correct.
don't. I feel like the whole album for me is nothing ever happening. I'm sorry. That's just where that album is for me. It's not a. So that's why. Like, is it a D record? Probably not. In all fairness, it's not a D. Maybe a C is more proper. But yeah. Anyway, Geoff.
Yeah, I agree. So sorry, Jeff, but I mean, it seems to me like he was trying to put little bits of everything that Steven Wilson was previously into the album, but without any defined structure or anything. The whole musical puzzle box idea. When I first listened to it, I happened to be in my car, and it blew my car stereo. Literally blew my
I
speakers
remember
up.
you told us that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of I put it into my home theater system. I listened to it a few times, and I found my attention just wandering, and I was just like, "Where's the chorus? And where's the structure?" And I kind of just lost interest after a few days, and that was it. So yeah, I
Yep.
think it's a,
It is what
I,
it
I,
is,
I
you
think
know.
it's correctly placed.
This is the worst tier list we've ever done, and it's not even like finished yet.
We thought there's only 8 records. We all mostly agree.
Dude,
It'll be fine.
I thought it was gonna be the safest thing ever. Like I
I
already
love
agree
it.
with the comments. Like this is a mess. I agree with you.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I love it.
Well, you said you weren't going to talk about it, and then you did.
Very briefly. Very briefly.
Very brief.
Who,
No,
who's up? Me, right?
I just yeah, I don't even know what to say. It feels like I hear a different album when I hear that from you guys. So I don't even know how to kind of comment to criticism that says there's not enough choruses in it. I don't. I mean, to me, it's a thing that doesn't need that. And if you want an album of songs, absolute, songs with verse, chorus, middle, eight, then it's not that. But I don't think it ever was meant to be that. I think it was meant to be something different. The thing that, and again, maybe it's just how I understand it. My so uh, uh, in the Stephen, in his autobiography, there is a chapter that is the short story that he wrote, which is the Harmony Codex. And I had read that, and in fact I'd read it and I'd listened to it on the audiobook. There is a narrative, and there's an element of this album which, a bit like Hand Canada is, it is a non-linear narrative based around that story. And so there's parts of the lyrics, there's parts of what happens instrumentally, which, if you have that story in your head, you can sort of see the pictures of what that is trying to do. And I guess probably without that, maybe it just sounds like, something that doesn't necessarily go anywhere. I don't know, I connected with it. I think it's interesting enough sonically. I went to the theater, I heard the Atmos thing of it. It was just mind blowing. I didn't come out of that going, shame there was no choruses. I just, as sitting and listening to something for 64 minutes, it was like, it's like saying, "Oh, I watched a movie and there was no jokes in it." To me, that's kind of how I feel about it. Well, I wrote this thriller or watched this thriller, but there was no jokes in it. Well, I didn't expect there to be any jokes in it.
No,
So,
that's not
so
it.
oh, hang on. Let me say a
Yeah.
piece. So for me, what I'm saying is, I understand this album in a completely different way from it. It landed with me in a completely different way from the way it landed with you. It's an A tier album for me because I think, as a complete piece, it's a more interesting listen for me than some of the other albums.
Anyway, I'm curious to see how this shakes up and where you're going to put this album. No idea. You could do whatever you want. Honestly, I have no idea where this is
Dude,
going.
all I know is we gotta
I
end this
actually,
thing.
No, no, I'm looking at the ranking. I don't disagree with the ranking. I don't know that this is necessarily an A tier, but I don't have that big of a problem with the way the rest of it is, other than Grace for
Okay.
Drowning.
All right. Let me start off by saying I like To the Bone. I do. And that's against all expectations. Now, listen, I'm a fan of 80s pop, just like Stephen is. Kate Bush, Peter Gabriel, Tears for Fears. Love that stuff. So there's nothing wrong with good prog pop. And I think this is a great prog pop album. And despite all the criticism that it got, and the commercial appeal, I mean, at the time I think it sold very well and it was a high charting album. A lot of people criticized it for that. I think it's a great album, and I think it's Stephen paying homage to those great '80s pop prog bands, and I think when you listen to the whole album, it's one of those albums that makes a one plus one makes three. Sort of, some of its parts is greater than just the list of the songs. Um, it does lack a little edginess, which we're used to from Stephen. I get that, and that was the basis of a lot of the criticism. But when you break it down, this album does for me what the Future Bites absolutely failed at, which is great songwriting. Sure, shorter songs and pop songs, but it succeeds, in my opinion. I think that Pariah, featuring Nanette, is one of Stephen's greatest moments. I absolutely love that song. And weirdly, bizarrely, Shoot Me, I love Permeating.
Me
And
too, man.
yeah, that cheesy video
Yeah.
with the Indian dancing and all that, it didn't worry me at all. In fact, I think it succeeded. Um, in its 1 hour, there are a few weak moments, sure, but it's not an awful album at all, as a lot of people try to make out that it is. I think it was a resounding success, actually, in respect of Stephen trying to be pop. So I think it's absolutely an A tier album. I'm
And
gonna
now,
stick
and
at
now he
that.
puts it in D.
No,
um,
it's an A tier,
Oh,
and
I
it
like
you know
belongs
it.
there.
what?
Not because of the way it panned out, but because of
No,
that's
no,
where I think it belongs.
I do like this album actually. It's not a perfect album. I'm not a fan of Permeating. I dislike that song a lot. And I think there's maybe one or two others that I don't love particularly, but Nowhere Now is awesome. What's it?
Detonation
What's that
is
called? The Asylum. The Asylum song is
Detonation.
the same
great.
asylum as before.
Detonation
Yeah,
is
The same
Detonation is the
Detonation
asylum
is
as
one of
most
his.
before.
underrated song, like
It's one of his best
overlooked. I
songs.
think. Yeah,
Detonation is amazing.
not saying
Pariah, like you
underrated,
said, is
Jeff. I'm saying
amazing.
overlooked.
Refugee is
People who
amazing.
eat darkness is amazing.
Song of Unborn, again, another brilliant ballad that he used to close his show with. So, no, overall, I mean, it's not his proggiest moment. I mean, proggiest record, but outside of Detonation. But no, I like this album. Eh, I mean, for me, Grace for Drowning would be an A, and this would be an B. But I don't have a
Yeah,
problem with it. Like I
I'm
said, I
with
really
you,
kind of
Roy.
like this ranking. As it turns out, I'm not against this ranking, outside of Grace for Drowning being in C. I don't disagree with it.
Dude, I'll say this because I've always been a fan of To the Bone. I had the impression that Roy liked it less than he's describing now, but maybe that's just permeating, talking. Like permeating is a song. It always reminds me of my South Africa trip, Nick, when I went to see you.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
remember driving through the South African roads listening to this album, and every time I finished it, I always thought like, I want to listen to more stuff like this. I think it has a unique sound to it. It's a different band than the one before. It has when he leans onto the pop stuff, it sounds totally different, and unique in like in a cool way, right? When he did it in the Future Bites, it was kind of lame. I won't lie, in some of those instances, even though I like that album. But in this one, I think it's a resounding success, like the execution. And man, like That Nation is a song that's always gonna be up there for me. It's one of my favorites from him. And
Detonation.
yeah, yeah, That Nation, yeah. And so yeah, Nowhere Now, like Pariah, it has brilliant, brilliant moments. I'm happy with it in A. If I can't have Grace for Drowning in A, I'll survive, even though it should be there, but this like fills the spot nicely. So the tier list ended up, well, not amazing, but not terrible either.
It's gonna piss some people off.
Yeah, what do you think, Geoff?
Yeah, always
Well,
does.
put it this way: in the tier list, the top 5 is exactly my top 5.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you didn't have Harmony in A? You did.
Yeah, no, sorry.
You
sorry.
didn't have Hand
The
Cannot
five
Erase in S?
the 5 albums. Sorry, I did. Oh, sorry. Apologies. I had Hand Cannot Erase, and then Raven and Harmony Codex Overview and the Future and To the Bone as my
Right.
top 5.
It's
Yeah,
not,
so
not,
sorry.
not far off.
Yeah. I'm trying. Which one isn't?
Four
in
and a
there?
half.
Four and a
Four and a
half.
half. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And again, so to the extent of the top half and the bottom half, I'm not averse to that. To the Bone, I think we have to find a way to describe these albums to differentiate between them, and I think this is one of the things that kind of probably frustrates me. When you go, oh, that Steven Wilson goes pop. If you played it to any other person, they would go, "What on earth makes you think this is a pop album?
This is not pop,
Like,
right?
it's
Yeah.
it's not. It's just not." And yeah, I do think, again, if you look at it where it came in the sort of the catalog, it was him working with a new set of musicians, and setting aside a lot of the sound that had been part of the Grace for Drowning tour, and then the Raven, and then Hand Cannot Erase, and you work with a new set of people, and it sounds different. I think there's so much strong music in this album. I actually think in my actual ranking, I have it above the Overview, because I think it's really, it's just got so many strong songs, but it's a different experience, and we all love all of these albums to a greater or lesser extent. So any other ranking is
Except for one.
more the minutiae. Well, apart from one for you guys, but yeah.
To the Bone is an album that I actually listen to, more often than some
Yeah.
of these. So yeah, it's
Well-
it's good. It's easy. It's easy to get into. That's sort of what I'm saying. It's sort of like you have
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
work at
it's
it.
an easy album. Roy, let's do the rankings between tiers. Not a difficult task, but definitely
Isn't it?
reverse the
I mean-
orders in C and D.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, the rest
Yeah.
is fine. Anyway, this was fun. It actually ended up still taking an hour, and
Oh my God,
was
yeah.
as silly as ever. So, again, look, we have to criticize. We have to, we love most of his albums. He's one of the greatest artists we have today. What are you gonna do? I mean, that's what it is.
Backpedaling. Please
No, I'm
let
just
me
saying.
interview you again.
Listen,
Please.
I think
any ranking where Hand Cannot Erase is not S tier for me is problematic. I just want to say one thing. Daddy's talking. some of you will get it.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, this was a lot of fun.
Anyways,
Thanks for watching.
thanks, guys. This
Let us
was
know your
fun.
comments and what you think, where you disagree, what we got wrong, obviously. And
And
stay
we
tuned for more
apologize.
great stuff. All right. We'll see you all later. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for checking out the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on all our socials and progreport.com. And we'll see you all again real soon. Thanks.